Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're watching me for the first time, hi, my name is Twinkle and I'm an ex-cabin crew member who was flying for airlines like Qatar Airways and Kingfisher for 10 good years. If you're here to watch my video, I'm assuming that you've already read my thumbnail, you've seen the title, and you're here because you're very excited to see how my salary slip looks like. Now there are so many videos over the internet which gives you an approximate idea of what a salary of a cabin crew looks like and what is the approximate amount that the salary of this cabin crew or from this airline looks like. But let me also tell you, in this video is going to be quite different. I will actually be reading out, taking you through my salary slip with me when I have the document with me, and you'll actually be seeing the document on the screen. So if you're interested, stay tuned until the end of this video because you don't want to miss this information. Before I actually take you to my salary slip, I want you to familiarize a little bit and give you a little bit of overview of how the salary slip looks like, and also how the salary is calculated. Like, I want to tell you the period so that you're able to analyze what I'm actually talking about. So when you will see the salary slip of Qatar Airways, it looks very simple and clear and precise to look at. When you look at it, there are not a lot of numbers involved if you compare to the salary slips that we have in the airlines in India. It is very simple, very few numbers. Everything is right there. So when you look at it, you will be able to recognize the numbers and everything at just one glance. But what is complicated part is for the employees, if they want to calculate and want to check any discrepancies or if the hours or anything, they really need to dig into the systems and check everything separately and then calculate. If they're not really keeping a tab of it every day, which nobody does actually, they really have to go and check everything to find out if there is any discrepancy at all, for the chances of which are very less, but nothing is like impossible. There can be errors, there can be discrepancies at all given times. Also, you will see another interesting thing that when you look at the salary slip, the period of the calculation of a salary, of a monthly salary, is 31 days. Yes, it's 30 days, but the period varies. Like, for instance, if I'm going to show you the salary slip for the month of April, that salary will be calculated from 5th March, from the period of 5th March of the last month, and it will be calculated until the 6th of April. So it starts from the 5th of March until the period of 6th of April, and it comes around 28th of April in that particular month. I hope I made it really clear. So the salary slip that I'm going to be sharing, you will already know what period I'm talking about. This is the period it covers when it gives us the salary for that period. Also, the dates that the salary comes on every month is pretty much fixed. We have never ever got any delayed payments. At least by the time I was there, I haven't received any delay of salaries as such. There used to be a fixed date around 27th or 28th of that month. If it's the holy month of Ramadan or Eid or something like that, they will even try to give you the salaries early, which is around the 23rd or the 24th of that month, which is a very good thing on their part. So without any further ado, let me take you and show you how the salary slip actually looks like. So now what on the screen you're looking at is the salary slip of Qatar Airways for the month of April. So now I'll take you from the top to the bottom. So now if you see, there is nothing like a date of joining mentioned on the salary slip, because all these details for the aircrafts you're trained, your date of joining, landline numbers, and all these things are there in the system already. So they don't really need to mention all these details. That's why I said when you look at this salary slip, it looks very clean, precise, and simple. So let's start on the top. You can see my full name, which is Twinkle Anand. You can see my employee number, which I have deliberately tried to hide. I hope I can do that. I have some reasons I don't prefer showing you the employee number. Please don't get offended by that. Moving on to the next thing, department, that is cabin crew flying, because we were in the flying department. Position is cabin senior, grade is CC05. So the grade, so when you talk about the grades, they differ. So when I started, it was CC03. When I became F1, it was 04. Now I was CS when I left. That was the cabin senior position. It was 0.5, and it increases with the position. This grade decides a lot of things. Also your salary, your basic salary, your perks and benefits, and also your hourly pay, which you will see further down in the salary slip. Also, before I show you the numbers exactly, you can see all the numbers given here are in Qatari riyals, and the calculation of Qatari riyals is such that if you try to convert it in Indian rupees, it is going to be approximately 19 or 20 rupees. So you can do the math and calculate what are the exact numbers. Now the numbers that I'm going to show you are all going to be in Qatari riyals. So here, the first thing you will see here is the basic pay, which is 5,500 Qatari riyals. Now the basic pay is usually fixed, but it differs according to the grade, as I already told you. When you will start as an F2, you will get 3,600 riyals as your basic pay, which will increase and change once you get fixed with the company, and going above with the grades it changes, and for us as CSS it was 5,500. Now the basic pay is usually fixed, and irrespective that you've flown how many hours, 10 hours, 0 hours, 100 hours, 70 hours, it will stay fixed. It is not dependent upon any fixed amount of hours that you need to complete. For instance, in the airlines in India, they will tell you that if you complete 75 hours, then only you will be eligible to get your basic pay. However, things does not work like this in Qatar Airways. You will get your basic salary provided you are available for your duty, which means you're not on sick leave or you're not on your leave without pay. Even if you're on your annual leave, which is paid 15 days in every 6 months, that is paid. So if you're on leave, you will still get your full fixed basic pay, which is very good as well. Also, in case you are having a training, for example, when I was getting trained for my leadership training, and the training was for around 21 days, I had gotten my full basic and whatever hours of check flights that I had. So the conclusion is that basic pay only gets cut if you have a sick leave or leave without pay, that I will discuss further down when I discuss the deductions of the salary slip. Moving on to the next thing, which is the transport allowance. Now transport allowance is 250 riyals, which is fixed. Well, transport allowance is only given to CS and CSDs, which is the grey uniform, like when you become supervisors. This one is a fixed amount. Though it is not a lot of amount if you calculate it in the Indian currency. This is the thing that the company gives you as an allowance, because they want you to be on time for any briefings. I mean, they want you to be the first one to attend the briefing. So in case you're getting late and you want to have your own transport, they think that they want to put a little bit of allowance in your pocket so that you don't have to pay from your pocket. Irrespective, I have never gone ahead and taken transport from outside. I've always taken company transports. The reason being that if there in case as any delay from the private transport that I'm taking, I will be questioned, I will be asked for an explanation. However, if I'm using a company transport, well, things are not in my hands, and I will not be questioned as much. I will not be asked to explain, because it is the company transport and I boarded the bus on time. So things are pretty much easy this way, and I like it to keep this way always. Now next thing, if we're going to talk about this, the hotel meal allowance. Now let me brief you how hotel meal allowances work. Now, whenever you go for your layovers, you are entitled to get a certain amount as an allowance to take care of your breakfast, lunch and dinner, because you're going to be spending that amount of time in that period of time of the layover in the destination on duty, and the company is going to provide you with accommodation as well as with the food. So instead of paying you cash or a card or giving you free things, they try to give this in your salary. So for instance, in a destination, you will be spending 2 nights, an afternoon and a day. So you will be entitled to get 2 dinners, 1 breakfast and 1 lunch allowance. If you're covering only 1 single day, including 1 day, 1 night and an afternoon meal, they will include 3 meals, the allowance for 3 meals in your salary. So what I can do is, at the end of the month, if I want to check whether all the allowances that I've received are correct or no, I can actually see these things into my system. There are everything detailed, there are details present in the system of different destinations and the allowances of different meals, which is breakfast, lunch and dinner, and you can actually go ahead and tally that if you have got all that time. People do that, and as a responsible employee, I think you should also keep a tab of how things are working. That is why when I was initially telling you, when you look at the salary slip of Qatar Airways, it looks very simple and easy, but it is difficult for the employees because nothing is given in this salary slip, and you have to actually go and dive into the system to see all the different things from different places, accumulate, assemble that thing, and then check and tally if your salary is actually correct or not, which is a bit of a hassle, but that is how it works. So coming on to the hotel meal allowance, which is 1943 riyals for this month. This was accumulated and all of these things were added, and this is the sum that I received in that particular period. So let's move on to the hourly flying pay, which is going to be the highest amount in your salary slip, which, because this one is not fixed and it changes according to the hours you fly. So let me explain you this way. Hourly flying pay is decided by the grade you're at. So for instance, you're an F2 when you start, it is around 48 riyals per hour. When you get promoted as F1, it turns to 52. Now I'm a CS, like when I was CS and I left at that position, it was 63, and for CSDs it is 81 per hour. So when you look at this amount, which is 10,910, you will see that you can divide it with the 63, and you can calculate the number of hours I flew in that period, which I explained you in the start of the video, and you can do the math yourself. What you can do is calculate the amount of hours that I flew in that period and comment down below and let me know what number of hours I flew in that particular period. Coming on to the next thing, which is the in-flight commission, which for this month is 463 riyals. Now, in-flight commission works on this way. Only the CS and CSDs have this extra duty of being responsible for the duty free, which is available on board the aircraft for every sector. What we need to do is we do sales. If there is any requests of duty free items on board, we get a commission of 10% on the total amount of sales that is done on that particular flight. Now once we are done with the earning side, let me show you the deduction side. So this here is the deduction side, which actually is quite blank because there is just one heading, which is ADSL deduction. Now ADSL deduction is nothing but your internet connection, which you and your flatmates have taken in a flat, and you collectively pay for it, which is 217 riyals. So this is a personal thing which gets deducted by the salary, because the company, when we started flying, had initially taken the initiative of getting us connections, TV connections, telephones and internet, so it's easier to get these facilities for their cabin crew, which is also another good part on their side. Apart from that, in this salary slip you will not see any deduction, which comes out to be the total sum of 18,845 riyals for the month of April, which is not bad if you calculate. Now let me tell you something else. After seeing the deductions of this salary slip, you will not be able to make out what are the actual deductions, because this is the salary slip of probably the last year of 2018 as a CS when I was flying. But there are a few deductions that I'm going to tell you now here on this screen, so that you get a better idea of what all deductions are there. So when you initially start flying, you are the company is absolutely doing a lot of expenditure on the comprehensive training that they are going to give you when you become a part of their airline and when you start flying. So as a part of your cost of training, you are supposed to return Qatari riyals 350, which is deducted from your salary every month for a period of 21 months, which becomes a total of 7,350 Qatari riyals. However, once you complete 2 years, which is 24 months in the company, don't worry, all this amount gets refunded back in your salary. Isn't it great? You are getting everything back which you paid, including the cost of training, everything. So there's actually nothing that you're paying from your own pocket, which I think is a really good idea, unlike what we do in India, that they take some amount of training costs from your salary and it does not get refunded like it does in Qatar Airways, which is very good. Now I want to go ahead and show you these deductions, like the few deductions which were made, which are done from your salary account, so you also get an idea of what are the deductions that get done from the salary slip. So when you look at these deductions here, these are the e-ticket numbers that are basically nothing but your travel tickets, your discounted tickets which you are entitled to as a cabin crew. And these are the discounted rates. If you see here the few amounts of the tickets, because of course I used to travel a lot, mostly to my home country, and of course if I am traveling anywhere I would book the tickets on the system which is draft travel, and then it gets deducted. There is an option of paying by salary, it gets deducted from your salary, so which is another good thing, because even if you don't have enough money in your hand by using credit cards or something, you can actually select pay by salary, and you can get that amount deducted from your salary, so which is really good. Apart from that, if you see if you take any sick leave, if you take any unpaid leave, which is apart from your annual leaves which you're entitled at, if you have any no shows which is shown as NOAV in your roster, the salary will get deducted, but this amount really gets deducted from your basic pay. And how is it calculated? You basically divide the fixed amount from the number of days in a month, which is 30 or 31. Usually they take it as 30, and then it comes out to be Qatari 181 riyals in case of CSAs, which is 5500 divided by 30. It comes out to be Qatari riyals 181, which is deducted for 1 day of sick leave, provided you don't give them the certificate of your sickness. So in case you're reporting sick and you're not able to validate it with a certificate from the provided doctors and all that jazz, you are deducted that amount for 1 day of your salary from your total amount of salary. Similarly, the criteria for leave without pay and anything where you're not available for your duty, no show or anything of that sort happens, the same amount into the number of days that were missed from your duty is deducted from your total salary. Apart from that, if you see, you will not have any tax deductions, no refunds, no PFs, nothing. Why? Because the salary that you get in Qatar Airways is absolutely non-taxable. So you enjoy a lot of benefits as a crew member of this airline, because you don't have to pay a lot of tax, which we usually pay when you are flying in India, which is a lot of amount if you try and compare for the salaries of either first officers or cabin crew or captains or anyone. For the staff in general is a lot of money. So if you see the salary slip, as I told you, it looks really simple when you look at it, but there are a lot of calculations and a lot of things to be taken into consideration when you're actually tallying your salary slip, which is a lot of work again for the employee. And I truly believe that it should be done as a responsible employee of the airline, or any which ways you should be aware of what you're earning. So that was all for this video. I hope I gave you an insight of what an actually salary slip looks like, and you have really got a lot of factual information. If you like this video, then please do not forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with people who want to know it, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in another next useful or interesting video. Till then, take care and bye bye.